These days, every major platform seems to have its own AI to make the platform easier to use. From chat support to performing your in-app tasks, the AI is trained to handle all these tasks. But have you ever wondered if it's so common that you can have a custom AI as well? What if I told you that the answer to your question is surprisingly yes? How can you make an AI for yourself? Watch this video to find out. The first question that pops into our minds whenever we wonder about AI development is how much it would cost you. Big AI models like DeepSeek cost millions to train. But here's the good news. You don't need that kind of money or even expensive hardware to build your own AI. In fact, you can set up your own custom AI in minutes using a free tool. So, what tool are we talking about? It's the Teachable Machine, and you can set it up with just a few clicks. While it doesn't let you create a complete chatbot, you can use it to train an AI to do some basic tasks for you. It's basically a web-based tool that makes creative machine learning models fast, easy, and accessible to everyone. You provide it with some samples and then define what those samples signify. The AI learns from these examples and trains itself. And once that's done, you can export it to use in the real world. Since this technology is relatively new, there's a limited number of uses, but right now, you can teach a model to classify images, sounds, and body poses. Let's go through them one by one and see where you can use them in real life as well. Number 1. Images. First things first, head over to Teachable Machine's website. No downloads, no installations, just straight to the action. Once you've opened their website, you'll click on the Get Started button. Once you're on the site, you'll see 3 main options: Image Project, Audio Project, and Pose Project. Since we're setting up an image learning model, click on the Image Project option and select the Standard Image Model. This will take you to the training interface, where all the magic happens. Now, before jumping into uploading images, think about what you want your model to recognize. Maybe you want it to distinguish between different types of fruit, classify your dog's various expressions, or even differentiate between handwritten numbers. Whatever it is, you need categories or what Teachable Machine calls classes. Click on the Add a Class button and name it something descriptive. If you're training a model to recognize cats and dogs, for example, you'd create one class for cat and another for dog. If you need more categories, just keep adding classes. For the sake of this tutorial, let's train it to differentiate between some animals. For this differentiator, we'll name our classes as cats, dogs, fishes, and birds. Now, to feed the model some data, we can either upload images from our computer or use our webcam to capture images directly. If you go to the webcam route, make sure you have good lighting and take multiple images from different angles. If you upload files, make sure you have a variety, different lighting conditions, perspectives, and backgrounds. The more diverse your dataset, the better your model will perform in real-world situations. For this project, we'll be uploading 5 pictures for each of the classes, but if you are doing it yourself, make sure to use multiple pictures so that your AI works more accurately. Once we have uploaded images for all classes, we will be ready for the next step. Before hitting Train Model, you'll see an Advanced section. Ignore it if you're new. Default settings work fine, but if you're curious, more epochs mean better accuracy, though it takes longer. Now, hit that Train Model button and watch as Teachable Machine does its thing. Depending on the size of your dataset, training can take a few seconds to a few minutes. You'll see a progress bar moving along, indicating that the model is learning to differentiate between your classes. If you get an error, it's usually because there aren't enough images in a class. Make sure you have at least a handful in each category. Once the training is complete, you'll see that you can test it out live through the preview section. Here, you can upload new images or use your webcam to check how well the model performs. Try different images to see if they accurately classify them. If it makes mistakes, don't worry. It just means you need to train it with more diverse examples. As you can see, I uploaded a picture of a cat to see if it can identify correctly. And what do you know? It actually works. Now, if you're happy with the results, it's time to export your model. Click on the Export Model button, and you'll have a few options. If you just want to use it in a browser, select the TensorFlow.js option. If you want to integrate it into a mobile app, choose TensorFlow Lite. You can also download the model file if you plan to use it elsewhere. Copy the provided link or download the files, and your model is ready for use. To integrate your model into a website, Teachable Machine provides JavaScript code snippets that you can embed. If you chose the TensorFlow.js option, you'd get a snippet that lets you load and run your model in a browser. This is perfect if you want to build an interactive web app where users can upload images and get real-time predictions. Suppose that your AI didn't work as you wanted it to, then don't worry. You can always go back and retrain it. Now I know what you are wondering. Why would I need an AI to tell me if the animal in front of me is a cat or a dog? Well, that was just an example of how to train it for yourself. Number 2, audio. Similar to the image model, this one also differentiates between inputs. The difference is that instead of a picture, you'd be using audio. Think of things like recognizing different words, classifying music genres, or distinguishing between background noises. So go back to Teachable Machine's homepage, select Audio Project, and you'll see the training flowchart once again. Start by adding classes just like before. Maybe you're making a model that differentiates between clapping, snapping, and whistling. Name your classes accordingly and start recording sound samples. You can either use your microphone to record directly or upload pre-recorded audio files. Just like with images, having a variety of samples improves accuracy. Once you have your sound samples uploaded, train your model by clicking Train Model. Let the Teachable Machine process the audio data, and once training is complete, test it by making sounds in real time or uploading new audio files. Export it just like you did for the image model, using TensorFlow.js or TensorFlow Lite for different use cases. As for the practical implications of this AI, it doesn't just stop at telling you what sound it hears. Instead, you could program those sounds as inputs to execute certain actions. Number 3, poses. While the idea behind training the AI remains the same, this is one of the most interesting ones. So, select Pose Project on the main page. Instead of images or audio, this model recognizes human body positions and movements. This is great for fitness apps, interactive games, or gesture-based controls. To train the pose model, you need different classes representing different poses. For example, if you're making a yoga classifier, you might have classes like tree pose, warrior pose, and downward dog. Use your webcam to capture yourself or others holding these poses. Ensure you capture the poses from different angles for better generalization. Once you have enough pose data, train your model like before. After training, test it by performing the poses in front of your webcam. The model should recognize and classify your movements accurately. Export your model and integrate it into an app or web page as needed. Let's get to the fun bit. Where can I use it? Well, if you are making a dancing game, you could use the AI to recognize what step the players are doing to recognize it as an input. Or say that you are a fitness instructor who has an international market. Now, making sure that all of your clients are doing the right exercises would be impossible, considering that you live in different time zones. So instead, you could use this AI to make sure that they are in the correct form or posture while doing the exercises. Lastly, you could train it to recognize different hand gestures as well. You know how Apple Vision Pro uses your hands as a controller, unlike other VR headsets in the market? Well, you could get a similar output if you train your AI well enough. This way, you can execute complex actions with the simplest of gestures. If you still need more help with the creative side of the practical implications, you could head to websites like GitHub and see what other people have made using it. You might even find out something that you are trying to build, and you can use their knowledge to make your AI better. That's it for this video. What kind of geeky AI are you going to make? And if you've already made something with this tool, let us know in the comments below. As always, like, subscribe, and tune in to the channel for more amazing content.